microphone today. Kate B, yay, from sunny Florida. And where we going with you? On a walk. So welcome to my YouTube channel. If it's your first time, I'm Kate. I live in sunny Florida. I'm an immigrant. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. I'm a friend. I'm a woman of power. Yes, I'm a superwoman. Yes, so welcome to my live stream. Tell me if you can hear me well. Today I'm wearing tennis outfit. If you're watching Roland Garros from France, if you love tennis, look at my tennis outfit. Even my tennis visor. But I don't play tennis. I just love the entourage. I just love tennis clothes. Welcome to my live stream. What we're gonna talk about today. I felt like walking and I'm so bored. Sometimes on my walk I listen to my book. But I've been listening to this book for 4 weeks now. And it's a 15-hour book. Usually I do it within a week. But this book, 4 weeks, I don't know what it is. It's interesting. It's just, I don't know. I can't finish. Sometimes you can't finish the book. Sasha Bielak-Shtanach, hello. Welcome, Sasha. Welcome. Sasha Bielak-Shtanach from Brazil. Welcome from Brazil. I don't know what time is it, but if it's too late and you need to go, that's okay. You can watch my live stream a little later. And you can even watch it at the speed 2. It's going to be pretty funny to watch. Welcome. So what we're gonna watch, what we're gonna talk about today. I have 14 viewers. Welcome. So what bothers you? I've been anxious for the couple of days without no particular reason, and something is bothering me, and I can't tell what. We are closing the fiscal year at work. And everything pretty much slowing down because we worked really hard in May. May was crazy at home and at work too. So now things are slowing down at work, and I thought I can breathe a little bit and I can, you know, kind of like take things easy. But I'm not in a good mood. Something is really bothering me. And I can't figure out what. Maybe you know from before I told you I'm a very anxious person, like to begin with. All my life I was a very anxious person because my parents had very high expectations from me to do good at school, to do good at life, to learn things, to know how to be a good wife, to learn how to cook, how to do chores, how to survive, how to adapt. So my parents put a lot of high expectations on us back in the day. And I think there was no word or time to relax, to be sorry for yourself, or to be upset, or to be worried. Everything was chop. Everything was pretty much like an army. Chop. Hot really. What's up? Are you German? Nope. I'm mixture of Eastern European bloods. Russian, Polish, Ukrainian, Moldovan, you name it. Lots of mixture. Maybe German too, somewhere, a little bit. Welcome. Lucy around 40. Hi all, welcome Lucy and Sasha. My favorite viewers today. Shout out to Lucia from California and shout out to Sasha from Brazil. Welcome. So, over the years, when you live in a constant pressure on yourself, you don't understand what's going on. Like, I've been living, like, to tell you the truth, like from 18th up to, let's say, COVID year. COVID year was 2020. In 2020, I turned 44, 4 years ago. So up until 43, I lived in a constant pressure on myself. I lived in a constant pressure to be perfect, to have control, and this gave me lots of anxiety about every little thing. Like, I don't like to be late. I don't like to be late to work. I don't like when I can't find things on the places I put, you know. I expect my kids and my family members to put things in the house where they belong. I have OCD attacks when, for example, I have a special basket for the mail that comes, like we get tons of paper mail. And to organize it, I have a special basket. So if this basket is there and I see it almost full, it gives me like a panic attack. It gives me an anxiety that that basket of paper is going to overflow and I need to do something. And I might not notice it, but when I notice it, I don't let it go. I start to have an OCD panic attack, and I would start to clean the damn basket of papers. So imagine all these years from being 18 up to 44. You live like a spring. This spring is inside of you, and it's always tight. You can't let things go. You can't rest, because, you know, when you rest, you consider yourself fooling around, being lazy. You have high expectations when you go for holidays or vacations. You take 7 days. Masca. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Masca from California. And now, Pante. Hi, baby. Or whatever. Hi. Hi, baby. Hi, baby, too. I cannot type. I'm in the gym, but I'm here. Okay, Lucia, that's okay. Don't worry to type. You can comment later on my live stream. Hi. So, and you know, back in the day, we don't have as much knowledge of psychology. We do have a little bit of knowledge of what is your personality type, what triggers you. And we have like characteristics. Are you in general energetic person or more like slow person? But I was always very energetic, and I was always a stress ball. So I met my husband, and he is the total opposite of me. He is the slowest person in the world. Like, he's never in a hurry. He's not afraid to be late. And sometimes he is late and he doesn't care. He is very self-confident. He does things at his own pace. I call him a time pusher. And you know, when I met him, I was so in love that I didn't notice these things, you know. He is very responsible, he's very handsome, I fall in love. But later on, when you live with a person for 15, 16 years, you know you're like, you're fire and water. Like, I'm a fire and he's the water. So at some point, he balances me out. And at some point, I needed that person because, you know, my friends or my parents, I was surrounded with people who were on the go, who were very energetic, who were trying to, you know, do a lot of things, trying to have high expectations, go study, make sure you have a plan, like go find a job. After I graduated college in 1999, times were tough, no good jobs. I worked as a nanny for a long time for foreigners, and I made a lot of good money being a nanny. But you know, I was putting so much pressure on myself for not having a career, for not having a job in the office. So I tried lots of different jobs in the office. I worked as a secretary. I worked as an HR rep. I worked like a receptionist. I worked all these office jobs just because I thought if I had an education from a prestigious, you know, school of economy of the Republic of Moldova, I can work as a nanny all my life. I can make a career out of being a nanny. And even nannying job brought me real dollars I could stash away, and I could kind of like save for something. I shared, yeah, I lived with my parents, so I shared my money with my mom and my dad to pay the bills, of course. But for the most part, I made good money and I stashed them away for treats. You know, back in the day, if you want to buy winter boots, they're gonna probably cost you $150, and most people made $50 per month. So how can you afford the boots that cost you 3 times much as, you know, your monthly salary? But that's how people live. They saved the money. They knew how to save. Nobody had credit cards back then, so we saved. And I was really good in saving money. Yeah, I should say I helped my parents a little bit with the bills and the food, but the food wasn't that expensive back in the day. Well, it was affordable. Like, we didn't eat, you know, fancy food. We ate whatever people ate back in the day. Vegetables, we still had like preserves from the summer with lots of vegetables, with lots of, you know, preserves we cooked from the garden, from my parents' garden, stuff like that, outside of the city. So I was really frugal, and I always had a little stash of dollars away, just, you know, for what we called it, for the black day. We always had this mentality that the black day will come and you will need money, and nobody gonna give you money. So don't trust banks anymore after the bank system collapsed in 1998 or whatever. So you keep your money safe, cash. So I was always good. But again, all these years I was trying to be a perfectionist. I was trying to have everything on time. You know, you have to go to school on time. This is so much years. You can have the kids on time, because, you know, who wants to have the kids after 40s? Your egg's gonna be old, you know. And the mentality was that back in the day, if you're not married by 25, something is wrong with you. Like, the society, your family, your relatives will put so much pressure on you to get married right out of college, or right out of, you know, after, let's say, your early 20s. But I was a late bloomer, so I told my mom she needs to chill and she needs to leave me alone, because she wanted to be in my business. She wanted to know about every boyfriend. She wanted to know if it's serious relationship, and she would be on my nerves. She would be in my business, you know, asking me all those questions. And, you know, since we lived in the same household, I would have curfew. I can't be free at 25 going and sleeping around and staying overnight with my boyfriend just because I lived with my parents and I had a curfew. Imagine here, you tell your 25-year-old that he can spend the night over somewhere else. That's impossible, right? Even at 18, they can tell you, Mom, goodbye. You can't tell me what to do, right? But back in the day, we were so scared of that freaking system. We were so scared. I was so scared to disappoint my parents, because, you know, both of my sisters had rough personal life, and my mom was really overprotective of me. So she thought, like, based on my sister's experience, I'm gonna get in a big trouble. And this pressure of getting in trouble, it was always in the air, you know. So any boyfriend I had, my mom would be right there, you know, making sure she reads me lectures every day about not getting pregnant, not screwing up, not having sex or whatnot. So it was kind of like, you know, a lot of pressure. And I was trying to be a perfectionist. I always knew that I'm gonna prove the point that everybody has their own fate and their own life, so I'm not gonna be in trouble, or I'm not gonna be hurt in my personal life as much as my sisters could have been hurt. So I always told my mom, chill. And I tried not to, you know, I tried not to involve her, and I tried to comply with the rules of the house. So I was a good girl, really good girl, you know. I did well finishing the college, and I worked, and even I worked as a nanny. I didn't have like good career yet. My mom still was kind of proud of me, and she still knew that, you know, I'm not gonna just sit around and be a lazy butt. But my mom passed away when she was 24, and here I am, 24-year-old, living with my dad. And my dad was chill. He was not as authoritative as my mom. He was okay with accepting me as an adult because I already worked, I made my own money, I helped him pay the bills. But still, you know, living with my dad, like now I'm going back and thinking that it was so embarrassing to live with my dad. You know, at 24, do you really want to live with your parents here? Like, everybody wants to be independent. Everybody wants to run to college like right away, even if they live there. Everybody wants to run away from their parents at 18. But imagine living with your dad at 20, 25, 26, 27. Kabiria Green, welcome. So, I still put a lot of pressure on me. Even when my mom passed away, I was so lost. I kind of lost a leader in my family. I kind of lost this holding force. It's okay. She has a BMW 7. She can freaking go, you know, not letting me pass. So, whatever. That car doesn't need to stop. The muscle car. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say, like, when my mom passed away, I was so lost. I didn't know, you know, I didn't have that force anymore that kind of holding me to be a good girl, you know. I didn't have that, you know, shoulder to lean on. And my dad, like, I felt like I was still responsible for my dad. I was still responsible to help him with the bills. I was still responsible for his well-being just because, you know, he was older and he was a widower. And I still lived with him, and I kind of wanted to get a little bit more, you know, wild about my personal life. Just, you know, I was hoping to find some decent person I can have a serious relationship and get married. But you know, I had this boyfriend of 2 years when my mom passed away, but he broke my heart, and here I am at 27 years old, having like an office job, not making much money, don't have personal life, don't have personal, you know, like place to live, living with my dad. So at 27, I felt as a complete loser. And again, back in the day, you don't know about depression. You don't know about like, oh, maybe you need to do therapy, or maybe you need to have a, you know, something that interests you. Maybe you need to progress in your career. Things were rough, you know, where we lived in early 2000s. Republic of Moldova was very poor. Economy was very poor. The jobs, you don't make much money in the office jobs, you know. People were like generally struggling. Even people who get married, they can't afford their own apartments. Yeah, some people probably can rent and buy, and some people probably get help from their parents to buy apartments. But you know, when you're 26, you live with your dad, you have a job, and you live in Moldova, you kind of like feel as a complete loser. So, and on top of that, your boyfriend cheated on you, broke your heart, made another woman pregnant while being in a relationship with you. On top of that, your heart is broken, and you're thinking, what should I do? And again, I would remember my mom, there is no time to lay down. Like, I can vividly remember how she would say that. Broken heart. There is no such thing as broken heart. Get up, wash the floors, vacuum the apartment, clean the dishes, and you're not going to be upset. You're going to forget about all your troubles. Or, you know, so work in the garden, whatever. Do something. Don't lay around and be sorry for yourself. So, I kind of like this mentality, you know, that, okay, you can keep yourself busy just to snap out of your bad mood or broken heart or stuff like that. But now I understand that people need to be nice to themselves, you know, whatever your attitude, whatever your character, whatever your temperament is, you still need to be nice to yourself in any age. If your heart is broken, you need to find the coping tools and mechanisms to let you self-heal, you know. Back in the day, nope, chop, 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 get up and go, get moving. So, love to you from India, welcome. Love to you from sunny Florida. So, why I'm telling you that? Because, you know, whatever parents in other countries do to their kids, in the United States it would be called moral abuse, you know, or something. But how it was back then, the society accepted these methods of parents being, having high expectations, of parents being pushy, of parents, you know, putting pressure on their kids. They kind of wanted to bring up successful people. They kind of wanted to put this pressure, like, I know Asian parents are the same, you know, they put on the kids a lot of pressure just because they don't want them to have extra time to fool around, and they want them to focus on school, on studies, and being the best. So if I think about it, yeah, sometimes my mom was putting too much pressure, but I wouldn't be as successful. I wouldn't be as successful now. I wouldn't know all these things I can balance for my kids. I wouldn't know both worlds to realize that it's never good to be too lenient. It's never good to be too of a pushover. It's never good to be your child's friend, you know. It's never good to be totally allowing your kids to, you know, push you over and, you know, being a baby boss in the family. So I always try to find, as a parent now, I always try to find a golden middle between how I was brought up and how they messed me up, you know, mentally, and how I don't want my kids to be messed up in their head, and how I want them to be well-rounded people with a stable mental health, with a stable attitude, with optimism, with positive perspectives and stuff like that. So, why I'm telling you that? Because some days I wake up and I'm thinking, why in the world I'm doing everything all right? Why in the world I'm finally in that age that I can let things go? You know, like I have a stable job, I have stable family, my dad is knock the wood, like lives with me, helps me. My kids are doing well, they're healthy, they're doing well at school. So why in the world I have this anxiety attacks? Why in the world all of a sudden I start to feel like, you know, I start to feel like something is going to happen? Or why all of a sudden I start to feel this need to have control, you know? Why all of a sudden I feel that I'm losing some control and I'm getting too, you know, like I'm getting too relaxed, too easy? Why I get this feeling that I might not notice something, or I'm forgetting to do something, to pay a bill or call somewhere I'm supposed to call, or make an appointment, or I forget my child's event or something. So I start to look at the calendar, start to check things. It's always that feeling of something I missed, you know. And that's exactly what anxiety is, and that's exactly how people who have a big sense of responsibility, who were brought up with this sense of responsibility and couldn't allow themselves to have time to, you know, work and relax, didn't have enough balance to be nice to themselves. That's what anxiety is. And with age, so why I'm telling you that? And in this age, when I know about what it is exactly is, I'm already smart enough. I've been in these situations many times. So at that age, after some time in therapy, after all this knowledge of psychology, after all these experiences, different experiences in communication with other people, in different communities, with people who you love, with people who you love and you admire, with successful people, with less successful people, all these experiences through life, that what makes you wise, and that what makes you recognize those things right now, and you know how to curb those things, you know how to overcome those things, you know. And why I'm telling you that? Because, you know, I'm a person who is always worried about missed opportunity, you know. Believe it or not, you know, I have to be somewhere and I have to be in 3 places at the same time. I'll try to make it work, you know. I can't let go, I can't choose, you know. I'll try to please everybody and everything, and I'll beat myself if I miss something important. I will think about it another 3 years in a row just because I would think I missed an opportunity or I missed a friend. I would put so much pressure on myself, like, and I know why, because, you know, up until 24, you're not mature enough to spend time with, let's say, with your mom. Your mom was always like a pressure on you, you know. And unfortunately, at 24, I was still a kid. I don't remember much cuddling. I don't remember much talking, being sincere, discussing topics that my kid can discuss with me. And this missed opportunity to have a great relationship with your most close person who gave birth to you. I think, you know, it's not only my mom's fault. It was my own fault too, because I wasn't mature enough to know how to, you know, confine to my mom, how to find, you know, how not to be afraid that she's gonna scold me or she's gonna be upset with me. And, you know, I always feel a lack of something, and I think that's because of that, because, you know, you can't get this time back. You can't get your teenage years back. You can't get back the time when you know, somebody sit down with you and tell you what's going on in your brain when you're a teenager, why you don't understand your parents, why you have generational clash. Now we have all this knowledge. Now we have all these resources provided to our kids at school, at their fingertips and their phones. So I hope that I can build a relationship with my kids when they can come and talk to me on every little topic, that they can come safely to me and not be afraid of me being mad or judge them. I want to make sure whatever years I have left, I make the most of these years to let them know that whatever they screw up, I'm not gonna stop loving them. I'm not gonna stop, you know, supporting them. I'm not gonna stop keeping them out of trouble and giving them whatever they need to be there, to make them feel safe and to make them feel good. So I think that comes, like they say now, everything comes from the childhood. So I always, in everything I do, I always have this fear of a missed opportunity. You know, I always have regrets that I haven't done something. Like today I cooked like nice dinner, cooked salad, I fed my kids, we have vegetables and meat, healthy food, you know. But it's always something bothering me. It's always something about, I'm not doing it 100%, or I let myself slack, you know, or I have a cleaning lady coming tomorrow and I start cleaning everything before she comes. And my husband said, why is the cleaning lady coming? And I said, just because I don't want her to see my messes, you know, just because I can clean myself, and I am embarrassed that she's coming and she has to pick up, you know, some clothes from the floor, or I don't want the cleaning lady to see my bed unmade, you know. So I think I'm a control freak. I still have it, but at least I learned how to let things go. And I can't say I completely learned how to do that. I like to say that I'm in the process. Stop yapping. Okay, you can swipe and go to another vlogger. That's fine with me. Thank you for your comment though. So I always say I'm in the process of letting the control go. I'm always in the process that, you know, letting my worries go. And I notice that the more I let things go, the better they fall in place. And I go back and I tell myself, how it was possible? Why did I spend so much emotional labor to worry about something that fell in place just like, you know, just like it's supposed to? Why some people can be more relaxed? Why some people can be just, you know, more easygoing? Like my husband would always tell me I'm a Debbie Downer, because everywhere we go, my first thought, we're gonna be late, or the place gonna be closed, or we're not gonna make it, or, you know, like something I want to buy, it's not gonna be available. So I'm always a person who thinks of the crisis all the time. I call it risk management skills, but other people call it cuckoo. Love to you from India. Okay, I read that. So what do you think? What do you think? And why did I mention until COVID years? So let's go back to COVID year. What happened? That something happened worldwide and we got in lockdown. So at first I felt like the world is going away, you know, like we're gonna die. At first I felt a little panic, but then this year actually was really good for my growth, because all of a sudden I let things go and I said, okay, I'll use this opportunity to lose control. Things are beyond my control. Things are beyond, like, my husband's control. Things cannot be solved with, you know, money or with, you know, just going away somewhere. Let's make the most of the situation. Let's slow down. Let's focus on our health, because if we focus on our health, we have a better chance to survive the stupid virus if it was that dangerous. And I started to slow down. And I would tell everybody that that was one of the best years after turning 40, because when I turned 40, I was like completely lost. I was fat, I was stressed, I didn't sleep well, my kids were still young. You know, I have a lot of cortisol in my bloodstream. I couldn't lose weight. I ate for comforts, I ate sugars. I looked bad, you know, I couldn't get my hair well done. So when I look at my pictures, 2017, 18, 19, oh my gosh, I thought to myself, who was that woman? Who was that crazy, stressed woman? Because you could read on my face that I was not well. I was like anxious to the point of like every little thing causes the world to collapse, you know. Every little things would irritate me. A wrong email, a wrong word, a wrong look from a person. I was so stressed, you know. And I feel bad about being that stressed because I missed a lot of nice years of my kids' childhood. I missed a lot of years of just simple laughs, jokes. And my advice to you, if you have younger children, show the lake, please, of course. So my advice, if you have young children and you feel like you feel stressed or you put a lot of pressure and demands on yourself, if you're stressed with your career, Lucia, $4.99, thank you. Thank you, Lucia. Lucia sent me a super chat donation. I love you, Lucia. Thank you so much. That is really nice of you. So if you have small young children, you know, never put so much pressure. The household duties, the career opportunities, everything will be there for you. You still have enough healthy years to catch up on that. But you will never catch up on the moments with your kids, you know. That's how I feel. I didn't have enough of those moments with my mom, you know. She passed away too early. And you are parents now. So if you have young children and you feel like a spring inside of you, you feel stressed or anxious, just go, you know, try to find the ways to overcome your stress and try to be there for your kids. Live every day, find something fun, notice little things, read books. Of course I did all of that. Of course I sat down, played with my kids. Of course I read them books. Of course I gave them hugs and kisses all the time. But I was so stressed that I can't remember those moments, you know. Of course I was doing a good job as a mom, but I always seem like, because I was so anxious about other stuff, because I always was a control freak, I was always Debbie Downer, thinking that every little thing was gonna kill us, you know. I missed the time when they were young, when they were vulnerable, when they were cute, you know, when you had those simple joys every day, when they bring you something from school and they can talk hours about, you know, their friends or silly things. And I remember I was there and I wasn't, because in my head I did so much emotional labor. I was thinking simultaneously about 100 other little things to make sure I complete them, that I think I miss the time seeing, like, I don't know if I can explain it well, but I have this picture frame that shows me the pictures of the kids back from when they were little. And I can remember vividly all the things we've done, you know, all the little holidays. We made sure we decorate, we do things. But you know, all of a sudden, I don't know if I was present there in the moment for them, or I was doing all this emotional labor worrying about bills, about money, about career, about work, about people at work. So my advice to you, if you have family, you have young kids, and you feel like you put on under pressure every day, you feel like a spring inside, my advice to you, make priorities. Make your family, your loved one, your priorities. Make your little kids your priorities. Who cares about unwashed dishes overnight? Who cares about 3 baskets of laundry not done exactly on Sunday evening before Monday? You know, who cares about unswept floor, you know? It's always going to be there. It's always going to be time to do it without so much emotional labor. Be there for your kids. Do something fun. Laugh and roll on the floor with them. Give your child to your mom or dad. They're going to be babysitter. If you want to relax and leave your child, what should you do? Yeah. My dad helps me a lot, you know. So when my kids go to school, to the school bus, you know, my dad takes them every day. So all these moms, they see me once in a while, they probably say, what is this lady doing here? Because I didn't go on the bus stop that much. I let my dad have good times with them, and they loved it. I'm not saying I'm not saying I wasn't a good mom. I'm sure I was a good mom, but you know, it always bothers me why these years when your kid's young, you put so much pressure to make every sphere of your life 100%, you know? And I think that everybody knows that stress doesn't help to, you know, put you in good shape. Stress doesn't help to keep looking young and furious, you know? So I regret that at some point I didn't have a person who would tell me, like, we didn't have YouTube back then. I only started to watch YouTube in 2019. So how would I get all this knowledge from other people? Your father is the gold. Yes, yes, absolutely. My father is the gold. And to tell you the truth, how to be a good mom. How to be a good mom? I'll give you a trick. You have to take good care of yourself first. You know how they say in the airplane, put the mask on yourself and then you'll be able to help your kid? Exactly what you have to do. Go to therapy, you know, have a date with your husband or your partner every week. You know, go away with other moms, with the fellow moms every year. Like we go on a retreat at the end of June again, once a year with my fellow moms. You know, always keep like-minded people around yourself. And if you have your sanity, believe it or not, your kids will appreciate a sane mom, not a stressed mom who's constantly yapping, yelling, being upset or expecting like 106% all the time instead of 86, you know? I was too much irritated with small things. I never saw a big picture, and my husband taught me to see a big picture. So again, let's go back to COVID. When COVID hit, that was the time. Maybe it always I was 43. Maybe I already started to, you know, my hormones changed, and maybe I started to slow down. Maybe because it's a COVID, I lost control, stuff like that. I let things go, and I, you know, we renovated that year. I got my beautiful, beautiful renovated bathroom, so we had the project to look forward to. We even managed to travel that year. Yes, of course, we all got sick, but you know, that experience, even being sick, being like critically ill, some of us in my family being critically ill, also taught me a huge lesson: how to let things go, how not to stress, how to appreciate every little thing instead of worrying about every little thing. So for some people, COVID year was a devastating year of being locked up. But for me, it was an amazing year of self-conscious, of self-awareness, of growth. Yeah, that's what I say, growth. Like, to tell you the truth, I was so scared of COVID, and I was so scared of my health that year that I lost about 10 pounds. Yes, I lost about 10 or 12 pounds. I started to get into shape just simply walking around the lake every day, making my 10,000 steps, like no matter what. We even had that year, like at work, because everybody works from home, we even had a competition, step competition. So everybody had this Fitbit thingy, and we had a competition at the office. I thought the lady who won, she was cheating because I was supposed to win. Yeah, I don't lose easily. I don't like to lose. But anyways, that was a great year because I felt great mentally, and whatever the God put us through that year, even with the sickness, it all worked out, you know. So what I'm trying to say, if you're a control freak, it's good because you cover your bases from early age. You kind of do everything by the rule. You don't waste time. You kind of put pressure. You kind of have that sense of responsibility. So you kind of lay the hay. That's what they say, lay the hay. But when you have kids, you have to choose wisely between having quality time or, you know, choosing other people, choosing career, choosing your looks, or choosing your... So you have to be wise. You know, they have this saying, just clean house, your sanity, or clean dishes. You can only pick two, you know. And of course, the world is not going to fall apart if you don't put the dishwasher at night. It took me a while. It took me a couple of books. It took me 2 therapists within 2 years to come to senses and slow down. And again, it took me a COVID year. So whatever takes you, seek for help, you know. Whatever it takes you, just the more healthy you are there for yourself, the longer you'll be there for your kids. Unfortunately, my mom didn't have that mentality. Unfortunately, my mom had a lot of heart conditions. She was obese. There was very poor medical care, and she had to go at 59. So did this mess me up? Yes, very much so. Am I still a little upset with her? Yes, very much so. Do I think that she was the best mom to make me who I am? Yes, I think so. So even we don't understand our parents back in the day, even if we think they messed us up in some way, at the end of the day, you come to this world alone and you live alone. So if you want to leave good legacy after yourself, be nice to your kids. But to be nice to your kids, you have to start with you. You have to start organizing your life, your mental health, your physical health. And the most important gift you can give to your kids is presence, you know. I always say that presence is a gift, you know. Be there for them. You know, you can't give them pots of gold or lots of money, but give them time, give them decent education, give them good, safe surroundings, give them good people to be around, cook nice food for them, pay for their sports, you know. That's all your input, and be there for them. You know, be a good role model for them. Show them that as a woman, you can be multitasking, but you can be strong, because you're not just falling apart and being, you know, mad or sad or stressed or depressed. Show them that women have a lot of control over their mental health, over their physical health, if they put enough effort. Teach your kids by you know, like, teach your kids by example. So here I am in my tennis outfit at the lake. I call this TED Talk on my walk. Oh my gee, do you live in like Florida? Yes, Scarlett, welcome. I live in Florida, yes. So I wanted to tell you that we all have some kind of issues in us, from childhood trauma, from grief that we might experience as adults through our life. But at the end of the day, we are responsible for our own well-being. There is not going to be a magic pill. There is not going to be a magic person who comes and saves you. As I say, we come alone to this world and we live alone. So we have to make the most being around your loved ones and being sane and being capable of getting the love and appreciation from other people. Just being good, just being responsible for ourselves and what we project. So I tell my kids that At some point, I thought I'll be a woman of a career, you know. I thought I'll get this master's degree in accounting, and I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna be independent financially. But at the end of the day, when I had my kids and I was 32, and I was stressed enough in a simple job, you know, I was so stressed enough in a simple job, I told to myself, nope, I'm not gonna be a breadwinner. I'm gonna make enough money to earn my Social Security, to earn my pension, to put money aside, you know, for retirement. But I'm gonna have a job from 8 to 5 where I leave my office, I don't bring stress home, I don't work extra hours, I don't have responsibility, because I want to be sane as a person outside of the job, you know. I want to be living a fulfilling life beside worrying about career and, you know, giving myself 250% to earning high incomes. It's always a choice. But I'm telling you that because I still feel like a loser. You know, I still had all these plans to come to the United States and be an emancipated woman, a feminist that can kick her husband and tell him that I'm good on my own. But I'm not, you know. I chose to balance between having an easy easy work, less money, but being dependent on you know, on my husband for the lifestyle we have, you know, being financially dependent on my husband to have the lifestyle we have. And I'm very fortunate that I love him. I'm very fortunate that, you know, I didn't only marry because of I knew he will build a great career. Back in the day, I didn't even know how much he makes or something. But now I realize that because my parents brought me up in the sense of responsibility, but you know, they were there for each other. My mom and my dad, they both worked, and they were there for each other till the last breath of my mom. My dad was there feeding her from the spoon. You know, I thought that they taught me to have love, to be true to yourself, to raise your family, you know, to your best abilities. And, you know, I think now I finally can tell that I deserve everything I have just because I worked hard, just because, you know, I didn't fool around. I find the man that I truly loved, and I consciously decided to have kids with him. Yes, I had my kids late, and I think I sacrificed my dreams of the career just because I wanted to, you know, I wanted to be involved in my kids' life. And I saw other women building career, and I thought, well, it's too much. And even though I didn't have even though with my second child I didn't have a very difficult job, I still had very rough shifts, you know. So when I had my first kid and I had to go back to work, this first 2 years were really rough at work, just because I worked in a not nice place, and I was crying and I was stressed, and I had late night shifts, and I hated my job, but I didn't want to give it up. And I had a little kid, a toddler, and I regret that I was reacting to those circumstances. I regret that I spent so much time crying and being sorry for myself instead of like moving on, letting things go. But I'm glad I had my husband who had my back and who said, just go ahead and find another job. Nothing gonna happen. You're gonna be great. And he always, you know, he always taught me not to, you know, sit in the moment, not to get stuck. He always told me that nothing gonna happen if you just get stuck in your emotions and not making a step forward. He said, go ahead, start sending your resumes, start finding what might be better, put the criteria you want and check the boxes. So my criteria for another job was office environment, 8 to 5, easy responsibilities, no overtime, no Saturdays and Sundays. I started to check the box. The only box I didn't check is a very high income, the money, because money wasn't the issue. But I'm so happy, I'm so fortunate that I moved on and I find the job. I've been there for 9 years. I started in 2015, this job at the university, and I'm still there and I'm still comfortable. And this job still checks the boxes. I stashed away a good retirement plan money. I'm very valued and appreciated there. I love my co-workers. I love my responsibilities, and I love that I work in the field of studies. I went to school here to be an accountant, so I work in acquisitions, so I deal with accounting to some extent. And I'm pretty much realized in being a good mom and a good employee. So yes, of course, at some point you have some regrets that you cannot make as much money as your husband or your partner makes. But you know, that's why you're a team. That's why on your team somebody needs to sacrifice something. Somebody needs to be there. And at the end of the day, like my husband tells me, look at the big picture. I'm so fortunate that we live a pretty privileged life. We enjoy freedoms. We don't scramble for everyday needs, for the bills. We have my father helping me, my girls growing with a family, with a generation of people who grew up after the Second World War, and they adore and love my dad. So I think we made it good in life. Scarlet, lucky, so pretty. Gosh, do you live in like Florida? So I don't know why I had this anxiety. It's probably the time of the month for the women, if you understand me. I know it's gonna go in a couple of days. That's why I walk, that's why I sleep well. I go to bed and make sure I sleep 8 hours. I know this sadness and grief will go. This anxiety, this like stuff that's bothering me, it's gonna resolve at some point. I just need to be patient, you know. I just need to have faith. And I think what I'm trying to say, that I need to be grateful. You know, I need to see the big picture. I don't need to get irritated with every little thing. I don't need to be worried so much about, you know, small things. At the end of the day, it's not gonna matter. At the end of the day, what's gonna matter, how your kids gonna remember you, how your kids gonna turn out, if they're gonna be responsible, if they're gonna be functional, independent adults, if you pass the legacy to them of being organized, hardworking, motivated, if you pass them the characteristics of being strong, again, motivated, not lazy, being grateful, not stressed all the time. If you pass them the tools how to work on their own issues, how to ask for help, seek for help, how to surround themselves with the people who are gonna love them and appreciate them, and you're gonna teach them how to trust people or how not to trust people. And you're going to teach them. It's not going to be walk in the park all the time. You're going to teach them Jesus loves you. You're so gorgeous. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you so much, Sheer 5678. Sheer, I love you, Nick. You did cheer me up today. Thank you. Jesus loves you too. Amen. So what I'm trying to say, at the end of the day, you teach your kids the tools to help themselves. You teach the kids the tools to appreciate what they have and not, you know, and curb their anxieties, be more confident, appreciate what you have, and strive for better. Strive to be better as a person every day. All right, it's been an hour and 2 minutes. Now I feel so much better that I talked to you. I feel so much better to walk around because, you know, when you walk in, you recharge your battery. I truly believe in, you know, when you keep yourself in motion, it recharges your battery so you have energy for the next day. And I don't know, the sorrows will be there. The sorrows will be there always. The regrets and sorrows, they are valid emotions. That's always going to be there. The worries is going to be there. The anxieties is always going to be there. You just need to learn to balance things out. And again, we go back to my theory of compensations. Someday you feel like a little bit sad, find the tools to snap out of it, and always remember that another day can be something so much more unexpectedly good that it's going to compensate for all your sorrows and for all your regrets. Никогда не знаешь, где найдешь, где потеряешь. But at the end of the day, the thing's gonna balance out. So, that's my wisdom. I went on a walk to talk to my viewers, to be around people, even if it's virtually. I have 12 viewers. I really appreciate you being with me. Lucia, thank you for sending me $4.99. And if you're emotional, if you need time to cry or listen to the music or pray, just go ahead and do it, you know. Don't suppress your emotions. Find a friend you can talk to. Open your YouTube channel. It doesn't matter. Express yourself freely. Let things go. And it's better to let things go, not to be snapping at your loved ones, not to pass in this bad energy. It's better to find healthier ways to let your emotions out and overcome your little moments of sadness or grief or whatever. Whew. That was a long monologue. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for listening. Me pouring my heart out, sharing my experiences as a human being and discussing, you know, discussing how the brain works and how our souls are so complicated and how we're not just simple creatures, we're very sophisticated, and how normal is to reflect, and how normal is to grow, and how normal is to be a little better than you were yesterday, and how normal is accept that you don't know everything and you have your own good things and bad things in you. Hassan, hi. Thank you again for being with me this evening. I'll do another live stream sometime soon. It helps me to, it's my, it's a part of my therapy, you know. It helps me to confine to my virtual friends, my viewers, and just to be myself without any reservations. Thank you, and again, cherish every moment with your kids. Take good care of yourself, physically and mentally. Be responsible. Know that there is time to fool around and there is time to work hard. And just be a good role model, and just be better every day, better than you were yesterday. Just try to grow whatever you do and wherever you are. Love you all. Big hugs from beautiful Florida, Kate B. Give me likes and subscribe. Watch my videos about everyday life. Watch my live streams. I love you all, and I appreciate your support and stopping by at my channel. Bye-bye. Love you. Good night. Love you all. Bye-bye.